Hi, I'm Andre and I'm a black nerd. So we're in the middle of E3. So much to talk about in the world of video games. And in my entire feed of Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, it's just like, Andre, you see that DuckTales theme song? No Super Mario Odyssey, no Xbox One X. Can you talk about the DuckTales theme song? So let's just see if this theme song captures my heart. If you don't know, if this is something new to you being here, first off, subscribe for being here. I really do appreciate it. And second, I'm doing this because I'm a fan of the Ducks. I'm a fan of the DuckTales. I grew up on the original series. I'm very intrigued about the other series. I've got a string of videos already about this show of what I know so far. I'm looking forward to seeing the rest. But that's enough of that talk. Let me just watch this theme song. And play! Alright. Oh man, Glom Gold. I see the Beagle Boys. Nice. Launchpad. Blur. It's the so they're using the theme song. Oh. DuckTales. Woohoo. And I love that Donald's gonna be in this version. Oh, this animation is cute. It's a different style, but it works for it. Nice. And I love it's all comic book style, the intro. Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Scrooge. The Beagle Boys. Yeah. Oh, man, Miss Beakley. Oh, and they show the plane crashing. Wow. They show the plane crashing. Race cars, lasers, airplanes. It's a duck blur. Might solve a mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales, woo! There's a stranger out to find you. What to do? Just grab onto some DuckTales, woo! They're lit every day. They're out there making DuckTales, woo! They lit tales of daring, bad and good, not ponytails or cottontails. No DuckTales, woo! Bam! I didn't think you had it in you, Disney, but Disney, you did it. I'm excited. A reboot might be done right here, y'all. Fingers crossed. Gotta be better than some other ones. I ain't saying no names. And I love how they mixed the second part to being bad and good, not ponytails or that was cool. I like that. This is cool. I'm excited about this. Is that weird? I'm excited about this. Very much, the song sung for the next generation, but the fact that they used the lyrics of the original theme song and they made the intro look like a cross between the new animated series and like comic book panels, and just the fact that they were like jumping out of panels and they were jumping on clearly the DuckTales logo, and you saw Flintheart Glomgold, you saw the Beagle Boys. Was there anybody else in there? Okay, so they have Flintheart Glomgold, they have the Beagle Boys, looks like there's Ma Beagle as well there. I see a Light Bulb, which is awesome. That was from Gyro Gear Loose. He made Light Bulb, or Little Bulb, I think he was called. Also, if you look closely at Little Bulb, you can see there's a duck with him. I'm going to assume that that is Gyro Gear Loose in the series. Gyro Gear Loose is the one that created the suit for Gizmo Duck. No, Gizmo Duck in the intro, but I'm pretty sure that's something they're going to introduce later on in the series. And of course, we see Scrooge, we see Huey, Dewey, and Louie, we see Webby. What I think is really interesting is that Mrs. Beakley is also with them. Mrs. Beakley didn't really travel around that much with the gang on the adventures in the original series. She usually stayed at home, and she was always worried about Webby going on the adventures because she was concerned that something would happen to Webby. Kind of looks like in this one, she's pulling that, what was that version of Batman? Was like Beware the Batman or something, where Alfred was a butler, but he was also like a fighter. I feel like they're kind of doing that with Mrs. Beakley in this. I can tell just from her stance in a couple of these shots. I think Mrs. Beakley might be a little bit of a fighter in this version of DuckTales. That's pretty cool. I like that. I like a butt-kicking Beakley. I will take a butt-kicking Beakley and a butt-kicking Webby over, "Oh, boys, don't do these things," Beakley, and "Uncle Scrooge, can I kind of with you too, Uncle Scrooge?" I don't want that Webby and Beakley. I don't know who this character on the end here is. It's kind of like almost pigeon-looking character. I don't know if that's a character from maybe the comics, or that's a new character altogether. but that's new to me. There's also some wolf character, looks like a wolf wearing a metal plate helmet and glasses. And he's got like a little scruffy scruff. What's that guy? Who's he all about? Wait, who's that guy? What's he all about? I'm flipping words around. I like that they're bringing back the classic DuckTales characters and maybe introducing some new ones as well. And then Donald's a part of this. And I love they start the whole sequence and all the villains in the series are chasing after Scrooge's #1 dime, the first dime he ever made. Does that mean that Magic and Dispel may be in this version of DuckTales? Because Magic and Dispel always tried to steal Scrooge's #1 dime because that was for some reason going to give her extra power. So I'm going to assume that having the dime in this sequence may mean that we might get some Magic and Dispel in this series. Although I don't recall seeing her in the intro. But I loved all the like random crazy monsters and things that they ran into on their adventures in the intro because that's obviously very reminiscent to the mummies and monsters and weird things that they saw in the intro in the original series. There's a part where there's a mummy that shows up and they pull the wrappings off the mummy and he falls down on the ground and he's just a bunch of bones that falls down. Okay, one, there was a mummy in the original DuckTales intro that chased after Huey, Dewey, and Louie, so that feels like a reference. Two, there's also the Transylvania level of DuckTales where you fought bone ducks and you fought mummies where you would hit them and they would spin around if you hit them right and they would go and fall off. So I don't know, I feel like that might have been a double reference to the original intro and to the video game. I might be reading way too much into this DuckTales intro, but I don't care. I'm going to do it. 107 facts about the DuckTales intro. And then, of course, at the very end, Launchpad crashes the plane into the DuckTales title and even knocks down all the bad guys when he does so. That's, of course, a reference to Launchpad always crashing his plane in the original series. I'm going to take it from that one shot. That means that Launchpad is still not that good of a pilot in this version of DuckTales. And I pay them much respect for keeping that element. I was really concerned that maybe they'd be like, well, can we make fun of that? You gotta keep that in, and I'm glad that it seems like that they're actually gonna do that with Launchpad. So, cool. He's a voice. Also can't help but feel like the Launchpad crashing into the title at the end of the theme song is a little bit of a subtle reference to Futurama's ending where the Planet Express crashes into that giant television at the end of every episode. Maybe somebody who did this title sequence is a fan of Futurama and was like, I think I can throw a little reference in there for you. And of course you can't have a DuckTales opening without Scrooge McDuck jumping into money just like he jumps into his money bin in the original series. Classic. It's going to premiere as a 1-hour TV movie on August 12th. Beginning at midnight, it's going to air for 24 consecutive hours. They're straight Christmas storying this episode of DuckTales. And then after that, there'll be 2 new episodes that will debut on September 23rd. This is really cute. This gets me hyped. I'm ready to see this show. I want to see this. You know, this feels like it's going to probably hit a little bit of nostalgia for me, as well as try to be its own thing, and that's cool with that. I'm cool with that. You know, you can't just make it, you don't make a DuckTales of 2017 for people who grew up on DuckTales in the 80s. Let the new people have their new stuff, and if there's a little bit of hint of the old stuff, if this show does what the current Ninja Turtle series does, which is do something new but throw in those little homages to the classic every once in a while when they can, then I'm totally down for DuckTales. I'm glad that you are watching a grown man talking about the DuckTales theme song. That's what the internet's all about. I have a really cool video that I did a while back where I showed off basically my entire collection of Disney afternoon related stuff. So be sure to check that video out. It was just a fun video I did to showcase that stuff off to you, as well as all the other duck stuff that I've done on this channel. Make sure you are subscribed, ring that bell to be notified, and I'll see you on the other side. I love you like a play cousin. I'm Audi 5000 Chain Chomp Yelp.